Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Studio. But today we absolutely find out for something like else for this one. So I just recorded early in the morning around here, and I see this. It will be Cookie Doll Comic Studio, and I'm going to be checking out around here. It was since that it was definitely look like the most terrifying comic studios you ever seen in this website. Of course, we're absolutely going to be hearing something even more tragic or something like that. So, let's get around here and paste it to this time. So, this is one of the most terrifying comic studios that ever made around here. So, this was actually limited, and it was built by Loaf Alice. But looks like there must be for one survivor, but nothing around here could be for something like even though. But turns out that disappeared around here everywhere. If we're gonna be opening up for this page, this doesn't able to be seen this anymore. So, if we look at around in other kinds of this, we may absolutely going to refresh the comic studio, but you better not going into this way because this absolutely causes in comic studio around here. So this is terrifying to get around here for some sort of like here. The Blob Rolls, the Yuki's Cake Factory, and Kaz Edet, or Kaz is a debt around here. We really think this isn't going to get around here for something like this. And there is more terrible things that I'm not able to go to see around here for this one. So I just already find out that the Yuki's Cake Factory it was probably for this one. This is some sort of a little bit good around here, so I got a copy and paste of the Yuki's Cake Factory. Whether they would be explaining how it's going to be for something else that I'm still possessed to. So, without further ado, that I couldn't able to find something else. So, this won't be going to get necessary around here in Cookie Doll Comic Studios. So, let's start right here, but I already checked out for like anything it was. I really don't like this one, but I won't actually going to be doing like this one. But I already told about like the Blubberos. So, this is absolutely that I just already checked out like anything itself, but it was not all about stuffed animals. They're absolutely like real humans that turned everybody into dolls, like anything what it was. This is the most, even more terrifying, like, whenever it does. Even that I just seen this from this movie, but I cannot believe that I just go into seeing like anything it was. The cookies are light cream cookie, but there must be for right next to Twizzly gummy cookie, onion cookie, pomegranate for like this one, but I'm not sure it was going to be for pomegranate citizens. And for this unknown light cookie by herself, like pastry sisters. But otherwise, there must be cream puff, poison mushroom, white lily, cherry blossom. There's more, such as Milky Way, strawberry jam cookie. There's Koinamon and Timekeeper cookie. One survivor could be Linzer cookie. And even more, they won't be able to be coming up next around here. But don't click on this one. This is absolutely really terrifying that I'm not being able to saw around here. So, looks like one of these pages are completely dangerous. We won't be able to be showing this anytime it's going to be. But we really probably going to be seeing what is going on around here for this thing. So I might actually going to get rid of anything around here in Yuki's Cake Factory, but I wouldn't believe this is going to be such as a little bit monstrosity like these. So even when I definitely seeing this from my sister, that we were watching movies, like whatever it to do so. This is Loaf Alice's Comics. But I wouldn't actually go and they scroll up against like that, even though they're being roped or tied up around here, because that I'm not very sure. Things are going to be turned into dolls, what I'm not very sure. It's not even possible that I just never able to be seen like this. When I just see her on screen around here, but I didn't mention about to do this. But I realize that doing dodge thing, what I'm probably sure that would have absolutely going to be the future of this one. And sometimes there will be 3 of them. Even though this is not what I not gonna waiting for around here. Since I just going to scroll all the way up into the top and see this is not actually going to do. But I see something more shocking that I'm not going to used to be. This is not what I just try to do if I'm going to scroll up. And there's more bad things that they look like. This is even more terrible. Or even more terrible like this thing as well. That changes her mind into Friday Night Funkin', Perfect Apocalypse, and even more something like the costumes, or even this one, getting killed by some other kinds of vehicles. Even before that I just scroll all the way. Even more. We didn't seem like that. And this is getting a little bit even terrible than ever. That witnesses for the laws around here that I just going to get around here. If I'm going to get almost to the top around for something like that, I really don't like this isn't going to get around here. But we probably sure there must be more costumes and some other kinds of adepts around here. And even more. But I can't actually going to be seeing like this anyways. But this is absolutely getting a little bit inappropriate. But looks like there is more. And pretty terrifying like that. And even before, this wasn't going to get around here for to do this. If I'm going to be looking around here, but I'm not very sure. This is getting a little bit inappropriate for something else. And I'm not very sure. I started to get a little bit confused, but I just actually going to scroll all the way into the top, but we're not able to be seeing that what happens like this anyway. So if we're gonna be seeing this for something like this, I am about to stop around here. And turns out things are turning into something even more terrifying than ever, which means fundamental educational or fundamental paper education just change her mind. This is what absolutely that changes into something more even unlawful, even that sometimes that they're going to be sued, that everybody is about to be getting sued around here. But of course there's some kind of Roblox stuff and things that I may no longer going to be getting around interested for just like this. As you can see that we look around here for just look like this. There were dolls and some kind of even more terrifying than ever. It's more explicit or even for something like this, except the words. We didn't absolutely see like this, but I'm not very sure that wouldn't actually gonna happen. So that could happen like anything else that I just kept on scrolling all the way up into the top. So here we are for into the top, like I guess. We wouldn't actually going to be seeing like whatever it is. As I'm going to interact with them for just a little bit. As I interact for one of the characters to see it closer, how terrifying that they looked around here for them. And especially it's right next to Blackberry Cookie. She's also a doll, but even for pomegranate residents like these could look like dolls. Whenever it does absolutely is the pastry cookie like this, I cannot believe there is a little bit more. And right next is Parfait Cookie. Even though this is absolutely even more terrifying than ever. And that's it. There is only one reason that we wouldn't actually going to do. If I'm gonna be added something else, this is more terrifying than ever. That Light Cream Cookie's worst nightmare comes to life. That we wouldn't actually going to see this whenever it does. So let's going to be taking a look around here for one of them, but I cannot believe this is absolutely more terrifying than ever. That I should be able to be added for something else. Let's start out with White Lily Cookie around here for this one. So as I started to put around here, and let's cross over for this one. But this is absolutely look like even this one before. It's gonna be a little bit scary, whatever it is. So before I'm gonna continue this video, that 2 cookies have completely added for new collaborations around here, like the Wicked characters, like Efhaba and Glinda over here for this one. There's Princess Glinda over here right next to that witch. And even though that the Powerpuff Girls have already added around here since then, that you came out into the studio, that I've probably seen this already. So, the collaborations are probably limited around here, even including, like, Everything It Goes, that, except the BTS and Disney characters, but we wouldn't absolutely, Disney characters won't return, like, even though that doesn't make any sense around here. But, even though, that completely added Lone Survivor Cookie, because if I interact for this character, this looks like, for an Indian version around here for this one, from the game of some sort of a mobile game or something. So, looks like I wasn't able to find something else, but we definitely look something even more further around here. So, this is absolutely pretty scary that we didn't actually really heard too much, and even we definitely seeing this, that she saw something even more shocking that I've not realized. So I cannot believe it that I just gonna be adding a little bit for some time over here. So she looked up into the distance and she saw something really shocking about for this one. This is even terrifying than ever, until I might absolutely going to add something in the next clip. Let's see in the user comics around here, and there were 3 of them in a total around here for this one, except 2 that there been existed around here for some sort of like this. I would not able to be reaching around here because that kept on focusing fundamental paper education and Dandy's world. But the really thing that we don't like is not one of them as well. But this is where that I possibly don't like is that I'm not very sure that I just shouldn't able to be watching around here for such like anime, fundamental paper education, and even more like murder drones, and even more that especially that I wasn't able to be taking this for this time, except My Little Pony, Cookie Run, and even Pixar related vehicles and other kinds of characters and stuff around here, and one of their movie posters, and like anything like old pictures like Mickey Mouse. So we didn't absolutely going to find out and started with this. It was from Onion Rabbit and Ari Haven ZX and Moon Stars. We don't actually going to be seeing this in the 3rd row around here for this one. That Affogato Cookie was even there before, because since it was posted on March 9th of 2023, the bloody gore-filled horrors of becoming an inanimated object, the pain that is clearly visible on their eyes, the interesting concept, the lies, the place of lies, it's not gonna be in heaven. This is total hell for around here for to do so. Even this is absolutely going to be for this one. But I definitely, that is the same thing that we realize. We didn't actually go around even for there. But even there is more that since March 10 of 2023. I already seen this in a while ago. That I'm probably sure that we would have absolutely seen this. It was since March of 9. But we didn't believe that we just totally seen this, wanted absolutely to do this. That says there's been an update to the studio and every doll has their own folder and there are 2 new dolls. It's gonna be everywhere. But they wouldn't actually going to be speak. What I'm not going to be sure that we just never to be taking from. It posted on December 21st. That since December 21st of 2022, a description of this little teaser for the cookie dolls. Also, I'm making a roleplay based off this. You can want to join for just submitted sprites, but make them look like your doll, but don't have any copy of my designs. Make sure your own design. I was just a normal cookie, then I just turned blacked out and I had a button instead of my other eye. I had cuts everywhere in my mouth within stitched it of I found it out I wasn't that the first one that I met, the missionary from Pastry's church. We talked then we meet the rest of the people here. Then I noticed something about the missionary's hair. Some of it was ripped and looked like it was pulled out. Then I meet Cream Puff Cookie, and she looked so scared that I confronted her. She said they can still talk. That I didn't remember how she got there. She said someone banished her on the head. She had an arrow through her and head and nails in her head. And then I met Onion Cookie. She would still talk. She said she got lost and then she was blacked out too. This is absolutely that we realized that could actually happen around here. So look at whatever it is going to be. They still walked and probably, oh god, this is totally what it actually looked like. So definitely there's the old truck within, this is Peterson, that wearing his own job around here. Greg Heffley scares off within them because they're being something stitched out by something else. But herself in the future look like this. It's even more terrifying than ever. Then Pomegranate's residence was turned into something even like this. She yells, "No, this can't be!" And what is absolutely that yells at her for this one. So I'm not sure because he definitely talks to her a little bit for that. He says, "No, what happened? I'm sorry, Creme Brulee, but I want the vine to heal." And she said, Linzer Cookie was even in trouble around here because, as you can see, there must be Cream Puff, Onion Cookie, and Strawberry Cookie are at the trunk of the truck with them. But even though the Shure finds out that he yells, "Who's there?" he eventually caught Poison Mushroom Cookie. I didn't mention that I just tried to talk it around here because I cannot believe, and I was a little bit confusing that I just going to check this out. So that is it for today around here because it was late in the morning, but I wouldn't actually going to be staying around here for to do this as well. So this is probably the end of this video that I just realized that we wouldn't able to be talking about here for this one. Don't click on that yet. because this is absolutely going to lead into the disaster around here for this one. I wouldn't believe that what is going on around here for this one, but I would not be surprised. This could be might for a virus for this one, I guess. But we're just trying to end up this video really quick. So if you're gonna be checking this out as well, you have to be at the age of 18 to check out of this one. Avoid this, and which is absolutely coming soon, is actually going to do this. So the link is going to be in the description, and you can check it out for anything what it does to browse anything what you want in this main website. So thanks for watching, fully support, and I'm going to be signing off, and I'll talk to you mini lads and comic studio users all later.